be, perhaps, is it a good attitude? We would perhaps say no, of course not. Neglect innovations if you can't understand them. Let us see the positive side. The increasing hype phenomena may be a chance to introduce new technology, new ICT technology faster than ever before, but only with one restriction: if complexity management can be done properly. So this could be very theoretically one first conclusion for innovation journalism, for how to follow this, and I will try to get some more input for this. I mentioned the word competence. Competence as well for managers in industry and in the political area, but also for media people. So we have a lot of different, sometimes very difficult words, as on the left side, broadband, the new phones, quadruple play. I don't know if you ever heard this. It's now some years old. This, so triple play plus mobile security, toll systems, RFID, IPTV, mobile TV, mobile B2B, ITV. Yeah, ITV is still there. E-government, just for interactive CI for TV. CRM, Galileo, the new satellite system. And I must say it's not easy to follow all these words. There might be at least 50 abbreviations which are just reasonably penetrated. Everybody uses them, but does everybody who decides about such thing know what it really is and what it really means? I'm not so sure about this. Take just some examples from last year. In the sense of your summer university weak signals, I think there are still weak signals about broadband. Broadband, there has been some sort of hype in the last 5 to 10 years, but it loosens its momentum. There are several reasons for this. In all these years, very few people could explain, first, what is broadband as a word? What does it mean? What is really? You could have said high-speed technology, high-speed networking technology, or so on. So it starts with the word. The second is, what does it really mean? So the late Chancellor Helmut Kohl, when you first heard from this in the 90s, he said, well, I understood that it is something like a Autobahn in Germany. The problem is that nobody knows exactly where should be the Auffahrten and the Abfahrten, so where you go out, the exits, and where you go on the motorway. I don't know how he meant this, but at least he had heard the word, could not do much with it. And so it went on. And if you ask people still now about broadband and the profit from broadband, they tend to answer in very difficult matter. So that's the reason last year and the year before, every year nearly, we make roadshows about broadband for small and medium-sized companies, because they say, broadband, what's that? Should I have this? No, I would not, of course. So just to explain this issue, that could be a rather weak signal, and it is due to the complex backgrounds of broadband technology. Fixed mobile conversion is another one. Under telecom experts, there are at least two fractions of experts. One says, well, we will have for the time being fixed and mobile networks for all the time in the future, with fiber to the home on the one hand and mobile gaining still momentum on the other hand. And there's another fraction that says everything will merge, convergence like this. And then we come to meshed networks, for example, in the real network sense. So these are complex and difficult wordings, as I explained before. And on the other hand, there are much easier words, as Second Life or IPTV. Just take this example. Everybody speaks about IPTV. We counted that in the last 2 years, we had about 20 different congresses, workshops, conferences about IPTV, new TV, ITV, Internet TV, Web TV. There are a lot of more of those abbreviations. The funny thing is that now on the universities they try to differ between the different wordings, although they are not fixed in a certain sense. So it's another sort of discussion, and this shows very heavily that it is easier to speak about something everybody is interested in as IPTV or Second Life now, Now, as journalists see that second life might be not such a good thing, they say, well, then we should not go into second life. And recently, one of my colleagues in Cologne said, the best thing in second life is the press notice of a company when it is going into second life. That's the only marketing success they have from it, but nothing else, because the frequency of customers coming to their second life office is much too small. So what can we do on this? On weak signals, well, in complex wordings and other and hype as second life and IPTV. Media professionals, I think, are claimed to stay technology competent. Everybody would guess they are this. And I think this is a difficult problem. Let me speak about this. When I followed the UMTS license story back some years, I asked an agency to make a press analysis how this issue, UMTS, is covered European-wide. And only in Germany it was reported in a very mistaken, incompetent way. And this resulted that the carrier going for the license at the time in Wiesbaden, that they, when they read the press, they got enthusiastic. Although they had other orders, they went up to 100 billion D-Mark at that time, which was a good thing for the federal state, but not so for them. And afterwards they claimed that was too much money. So there you have the direct consequence of reporting with not so much competence about a technology-driven issue, and on the other hand, industry reacts in a way which was not properly. So this is an issue. What we regarded, referring to competence of media professionals, seems to be decreasing. At the beginning, in the hype time, we had per year around 100, 200 journalists coming to Deutsche Medienakademie every year in seminars and workshops for managers from industry. Now it has decreased to 1/10 of it. And I asked every time again, senior journalists, what's the reason? And they said there are two things. Those who are happy to have a job in a media company, they really don't have the time to go for well, solid, stable further education. And those who are freelancers, they have less money, so they could not afford to go there. That might be two reasons. So consequences. So, two charts. I think it's a fact that nobody can know everything about fast-moving innovation technologies. You cannot follow everything. How can you know about what's the difference in the real thing with IPTV, ITV, and so on? So what to do? The first and the main issue is filtering. EPGs, program guides, navigation tools, all this kind of stuff might be one of the future issues to go after. So increased amount of available information about innovation makes filtering to be an absolute must. The challenge is not, although I know that this conference under the title of weak signals is not the signal weakness, but the problem to pick the right one. If you go from analog to digital, by the way, you will not have any problems with the weakness of signals. In digital, there's a signal yes, or it's no signal, yes or no. It's not the question of the weakness. Second, networking. Get to know somebody who knows. Using the internet is much easier than before. If you remember school times, you should not have all the work done, but you should know somebody who has it done and then copy from him. Third point, storytelling. Always I can recommend argue pros and cons to get a complete picture. If there seem only pros, search for the cons, and I'm sure you will find some, which will allow all the people discussing this issue to avoid them in the future. So this is the point. Not the other way around. Just believe in IPTV,